All right, guys, so this is our next project for the day. I kind of started before I started filming, but you know, almost got away from that, so I'm glad I caught it. Anyway, so it's a good sized bucket. Looks like a 6-foot bucket, 5-foot bucket, I don't know. Customers tell me that the operator was, you know, catching the side of a ditch with a rock ditch with too much force, so obviously snapped that guy off. And now we're in the process of trying to get this fixed up here. We're going to be sticking this guy back on. Now this is a different style of tooth shank. It's got these little quarter turn doodads here. And the reason we're putting it back on is because they don't have any in stock at the moment. So and we'll glue it back on, at least for the moment, and if it breaks off, the other one should be here by then, but hopefully it doesn't break off. I did notice though that it seemed like I had a big void, more so than what it should, because this is where the edge of the blade should be, and this is just like a bad casting or something. There should have been full right in that area. So we'll get it fixed up. Another thing, it shows a little impurity right in there, so who knows what that's all about. I'm not a big fan of putting these things back on because there's a lot of, you know, hairline cracks that could be evident or not evident, I should say, and create problems. And you know, you could be welding it up and then suddenly a crack shows up over here, and like, dang it, I wish I'd replace the whole thing. But it is what it is for the moment. So I'm gonna clean this up. I started preheating it because it's very muddy, and the preheating would just dry up the mud is basically all I wanted to do, so I can get it, clean it up with a needle scaler. So I'll continue with that, drying it up, cleaning it up, and then I'll come back and show you guys what we're gonna do to bevel it. All right. Cleaned up quite a bit. We're going to try and set this piece back on there just to get an idea as to where it goes where. Okay. All right. Okay, so one of the things you got to watch out for, let's see if it'll stay there. Yep. One of the things you got to watch out for when you're welding these up is which direction the crack is going. That way you can make the bevel the proper direction. So in this case here, looks like my bevel, hold on to that. Looks like my bevel for me should go mostly on this piece and then clean up just a little bit on that piece because it's already got that angle face helping us in that direction. This is going in the opposite direction, so we can cut this way so we can fill into the bottom. Same thing here, we'll bevel mostly this guy down here, and this one's probably a little bit of both. So it's a little bit tricky, like I mentioned. You got to be able to get it pretty close to right. And also, if we're able to cut back far enough, we'll get past some of the smaller cracks that are hidden. And of course, we won't know until we run into them. So it's one of those things where you just have to keep going and see what comes of it. So that's where we're at next. We're going to mark this up a little bit, see where we can gouge, or what parts we should gouge deeper than others. And I think we're going to try using arc gouging instead of torch. Now we can be more precise. You'll see. Raise your idle up. Okay, so interesting change of plans. My welding machine doesn't put out any power right now. I don't know what's going on. It was struggling to arc gouge, so I'm gonna have to go home and switch out machines. But I'm gonna try and keep moving forward with torching and beveling it with the torch instead. All right. We'll drop it off and just pick up the other one. You know? Okay, well that looks pretty rough, and I know it is, but we can clean it up. I'm just trying to get the bulk of it off. Now we can try and see what this guy does as far as sitting on there, how well it sits on there. Wait, doesn't sit by itself anymore. There you go. Yeah, I cut a lot on there. I don't need too much bevel on the bottom anymore. Now I just need some bevel on the top, on the tooth side now. So, okay, we're getting there. Okay, let me start trimming out the tooth. All right, looks like we're getting somewhere. This thing's crazy hot. So yeah, looking good. Just need to get that shank on there, kind of line it up and preheat it. We're getting there. All right. Well, we're at my buddy's repair shop, so I got to take this thing off. So let's do that. Okay, go a little bit. Sorry. Get the hose on. Go ahead and put the panel back on. Actually, no, not yet. Yeah.
Is this the same machine we put that fuse on?
No, this is a new one I just bought. Got 300 hours on it. Good? Yeah.
Likewise. And I want one of these.
Andy.
Yeah.
I want to get the bigger one.
Is the bigger one?
Yeah. That one only puts 600 pounds torque.
What's the bigger one?
Forward one. But I want to get that one.
So you took it out in the field and then it wasn't, it didn't work.
Okay.
Oh.
Good.
I can feel the choke move when I let that out. Oh really? Relax? Said OCB in Big Road.
I just couldn't keep up with archive. So I'm going to go throw it and get back up to the job.
Okay, you're all the way out in Leander, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, the air compressor was on. All right, I'll let you know.
right, so now we're back at it. Did a little grinding on this end here. Yesterday's fiasco was kind of interesting because it, you know, you don't ever expect the machine to go down. So now we're going to be gluing it back together. We're going to be using this wire. Hopefully you can read that. Hobart Fab Shield 21B. Got a new roll because I'm fixing to running out on the other one. So now it's just a matter of tacking this thing on in place. Tacking it in place. Make sure the tooth is pointing in the right direction. Remove the tooth itself. Preheat it. And then start gluing. So may need a little bit of gouging here and there. Try to make up some spots that I didn't get enough bevel. But we'll see that a little bit better once it's put together. So let's go ahead and do that next. Square?
Yes. It looks square to the...
Okay. Don't let it go yet. Okay, so just to ensure we got them all straight, took off a couple more there. Was a little bit off initially, so no big deal. Put some more tacks in there, and then we'll bevel it up and start welding, preheating it. Got a little bit of drizzle coming in. Hopefully it doesn't stop us because today is expected to have some rain. But that's what umbrellas are for. So let's get to getting, because it's a lot of welding. Okay, so I'm sorry we didn't have a good camera angle, but after a few passes, this is what it looks like. It's looking like it got in there pretty good. You know, of course, you got some high and low areas, some deeper and shallower spots, but you know, you got to layer the weld so that it comes out even at the end. That's looking okay. This here I cut a little bit too much, but if we can look at the shoulder here, I'll just build it up as best I can. So the toughest part will be this one. It broke right over where the shank ends, or the radius is there, so I had to build that up carefully. But things are looking really nice. This is really nice and warm now. Got to keep it hot while we're welding because we got a little bit of a breeze and then the drizzle. So hopefully we can get it done and slide the tooth on it to keep it warm once we're done. Things are looking pretty good here so far, and we'll just keep trucking. So things are looking good. Just pouring it in there pretty hot. I don't know how hot it is, but it's warm clear up to here, so that's plenty hot. That'll be nice. These are still staying lined up, so that's good. And it looks like we're gonna be moving right along. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I don't actually know, I haven't seen any hairline cracks or anything develop as of yet, so I think we got past them, but you just never know with these things. So that's kind of why I don't like putting used ones back on. But anyway, one of the advantages though of using a flux core wire is if in case like you have to have it go into a deep bevel. One of the advantages is, of course, that the wire is only a 45 thousandths thick, and so it'll reach way far in there and still create the arc. Whereas if you had a 1/8" rod or even a 3/32 rod, there will be some gap that you won't be able to get into. So that's a big advantage of using wire, or at least a self-shielded wire. In this case, no nozzle, like a dual shield. So we're gonna keep trucking right along. We'll be done in the next little bit. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot by saying that, but things are going well so far. So a little bit more probably high-speed welding, and I'll show you the finish here in a minute. All right guys, so that looks like it'll do it. It's a lot of running back and forth, going around the corners and stuff. So it came out pretty good. Whoa, that's still hot. Golly. I ended up having to bridge over that a little bit, but that's fine. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. So, not bad for a couple rookies. But anyway, I hope you learned something. These are fairly simple to put on. Like I said, I don't like putting broken ones on. And considering looking at this bucket, putting a new one on would have been a lot of work. So this saves them some time and bought them some, some more use out of the bucket, which is good. And if in case it breaks again, well then either we'll glue it back on or put a new one on. Hopefully a new one is in stock by that point. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. We're just gonna wrap this up and go get some lunch. All right, see you guys.